for that, Danny. 6:32 this morning. We're 1 week out from Christmas, and health officials are warning it's important to be cautious this holiday season.
It comes after the first flu death of the season that happened this week. 5 News reporter Emily Moss is joining us live with the latest. Good morning, Emily.
Good morning, Joe and Tiffany. Right now, there are over 100 people hospitalized with the flu in Arkansas. Local providers say that they expect these numbers to rise even higher this flu season. Local providers say the best way to protect yourselves and others is as easy as just washing your hands and washing them often. Right now, the hospitalizations are 75% people older than 65 or younger than 18, which are typically the high-risk groups for the flu. However, it means that a quarter of the cases hospitalized right now are still lower risk, and they're still requiring that hospitalization. Local providers say looking at global numbers, this year's flu looks to be intense.
What we're seeing from other areas of the world is it is a rough flu year, and so all signs are pointing it to being a long and high prevalence or a high number of flu cases in our area.
Well, flu symptoms can turn from mild to severe in a number of days. So if you feel like you're getting sick, it's best to get checked out by a doctor immediately so they can help you get better as soon as possible. Local providers also recommend talking to your primary physician about getting a flu shot to better protect you from this year's strain. Back to you.
All right, thanks for that, Emily. Cases of the measles in the U.S., those continue to rise. Today, the state of North Carolina is saying it's confirmed a case of measles in a person who traveled through Raleigh-Durham Airport last week. Cases are mainly impacting unvaccinated children, with the most recent outbreak in South Carolina. 135 people have been infected. 168 others have been in quarantine. Now, that's in the epicenter, Spartanburg. 90% of students in the school district are vaccinated, far below the 95% doctors say is needed for herd immunity.
The way that we are able to control these vaccine-preventable diseases is by getting high levels of protection within a community. Measles needs the highest level.
Well, the CDC has tracked nearly 2,000 confirmed cases across 43 states this year. That's the most on record since the disease was declared eradicated more than 2 decades ago. 3 people have died. For the first time in over 20 years, the U.S. is on the verge of losing its measles-free elimination status as vaccination rates lag and outbreaks continue to spread. Well, a tight-knit Arkansas community mourning after a fire destroys an historic church that's been at the heart of that town for generations.
5 News reporter Laura Castleman talked with a longtime resident and shares how they plan to move forward.
Flames ripped through Cole Chapel United Methodist Church in Branch, Arkansas early Wednesday morning. Built in the 1940s with its beautiful stained glass windows, the church has been more than just a building. It's been a place where generations have celebrated marriages, baptisms, and holiday services, bringing the community together time and time again. The building is over 100 years old and serves as a staple church for the community of Branch. The small town of around 200 people has long relied on Cole Chapel United Methodist Church as the heart of their community. Members drove by to see what was left of the church, and many were devastated to see barely anything left. I spoke to one resident who says he's been a part of the congregation for more than 70 years.
This church has been here for over 100 years, and the people, we don't have a lot of change in the community in terms of population here. And everybody, anytime we need anything, all we have to do is ask, and they provide that for us.
The people of Branch are already stepping up to help, offering donations and temporary spaces for worship. Pastor Lynn told me investigators are expected to reveal the cause of the fire in the coming days. Laura Castleman, 5 News.
All right, thanks for that. 6:36 today. President Trump is defending his record on the economy for the year. He spoke Wednesday in an 18-minute primetime address to the nation focused on his economy. The president celebrated his efforts to curb immigration and championed tariff policy. He also talked inflation.
I am bringing those high prices down and bringing them down very fast.
Well, however, CBS News analyst of government data shows that statement is not entirely true. And in a new CBS News poll, 63% of respondents said the economy is bad. 76% say their income isn't keeping up with inflation. Looking to the future, President Trump announcing plans for a warrior dividend of over $1,700 for some members of the military. He also promised to unveil aggressive housing reform in the new year.
Well, today, the son of deceased actor and director Rob Reiner remains behind bars.
He made his first court appearance on Wednesday on charges that he murdered his parents. The judge did not allow cameras to show Nick Reiner in court, but allowed his voice to be recorded. This is a courtroom rendering.
Nick Reiner is facing 2 counts of first-degree murder with special circumstances and a special allegation for allegedly using a knife in the killings of Rob and Michelle Reiner on Sunday. The coroner reports both died from multiple sharp force injuries.
There are very, very complex and serious issues that are associated with this case.
Well, Nick Reiner has openly discussed his struggles with drug addiction, though investigators have been hesitant to say whether substances or mental health struggles played a role in the crime.
A motive still unclear. Nick Reiner, though, is being held without bail. His arraignment has been postponed until January. And police in Rhode Island are releasing a new photo in the search for the gunman who killed 2 Brown University students and injured 9 others. This is day 6 of the search following the classroom shooting. Police released an image of a second person now, seen with the person of interest hours before the shooting. They're asking for help identifying him. Meanwhile, authorities say they don't know how many people were inside the classroom when the shooting happened. In the wake of several gun-related incidents across the country, the University of Arkansas addressing campus security. In August, the university experienced an active shooter hoax. Since then, students have continually asked for gun safety education. University Police Department says it intends on expanding its training next semester. The assistant police chief says they plan to hold targeted classes to Greek life, residential classrooms, and some public classes as well. His message to the campus community.
Don't take anything for granted, and don't be afraid to report something if you think something is off.
Well, he also encourages students, faculty, and staff to download the Safe Zone app, which allows users to receive emergency alerts no matter where they are on campus.
And now to new information about a former Oklahoma youth pastor charged with first-degree rape. U.S. Marshals arrested Joseph Campbell in Elkland, Missouri. Investigators say he has a number of victims dating back more than 40 years. He used to lead children's ministries at a church in Tulsa. An indictment alleges 2 incidents happened in 1984 involving 2 different girls. Well, 2 Oklahoma fishermen are recovering in the hospital after falling into the Illinois River near the Gore area. The Sequoia County Sheriff's Office shared this video of Wednesday's rescue. Deputies say the 2 men fell into the water and were quickly taken over by the cold water temperatures. Fishermen nearby witnessing what happened pulled them from the river and even had to give one of the men CPR. Both were flown to area hospitals.